Good morning. On page 325, it says to complete the table to show the values of the U.S. coins. So if you look at the penny, a penny is worth 1 cent. So that's why they have a 1 right here. The value, when we talk about money, is that there are two numbers after the decimal, and 1 penny is 0.01. As a fraction, that is 1/100th. 100 is always going to be your denominator. So when I look at the nickel says that it is worth 5 cents. So I have 5. My value is going to be my dollar sign and 0.05. Because it's worth 5 cents, it is less than 1. And to write that as a fraction, I'm going to write 5 over 100. Okay? So my bottom number is always 100. So when I look at a dime is worth 10 cents. So to write the value then with my dollar sign, that's 0.10. So that's our 10 cents. That's how we write that using money. And then as a fraction, that's 10/100ths. Again, my denominator is always going to be 100. A quarter is 25 cents. So to write that value, again, there's my dollar sign, 0.25. As a fraction, that's 25/100ths. A half dollar. Half dollar, as we know, is half of a dollar, which half of 100 is 50 cents. So again, to write that would be 0.50. And to write it as a fraction, that's going to be 50 over 100. So then that brings us to a dollar. A dollar. How many pennies does a dollar have? That's right. It has 100. So it has 100 cents. It's a 0. My dollar sign, and I have to show 100. So 1.00. And then as a fraction, that would be 100 over 100. So if I look at question number 2, it says a quarter is worth 25 cents and a dollar is worth 100 cents. You can also say that a quarter is worth 25% of a dollar. The percent symbol is read as percent, per 100. So again, my denominator here is always 100. So if you look at number 2, it says complete the statement with the missing percent value. So a penny is what percent? Well, up here, we said it was 1 over 100. That means that it is 1%. A nickel is what percent of a dollar? It's 5 over 100, so that's going to be 5%. And a dollar is what percent? Well, it's 100 over 100, so that's the whole thing. It's 100%. So if we look at number 3, it says write the name of the coin that matches each expression. So 10% of a dollar would be 10 over 100, which is a dime. And letter B is 50% of a dollar. So if I go 50 over 100, that's my half dollar. So I want you to do number 4 on your own. Pause the video and you may do number 4 on your own. Number 4, 5 nickels. Each nickel is 5 cents. So if I multiply that by 5, that gives me 25 cents, which is the same as 25%. So as we look on page 326, we're using our double number lines again. So we want to complete the double number lines by filling in the missing values. So our value at the top and our percent at the bottom. So 15, we know we're counting by 15s at the top because the 0 to 15. So if I'm adding 15 here, 15 plus 15 is 30. Percents, I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So I know that half of 50 is 25. So this would be 25%. So then I know I'm counting by 25. So I have 25, 50, 75, and 100. If I look at B, again, I want to do the same thing. I count how many spaces. So my value, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what times 10 is 80? Well, that's 8. So every one of these lines is 8 and adding 8 more. So 8, 16, 24, 32. I'm going to run out of room. 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. Now my percent would have to be the same thing. There's 10. So what times 10 is 100? That's going to be 10. So on here, I write my 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. It's always looking about what we are counting by. So it says use the double number lines from problem 1 to write 2 complete percentages statements. So if I look back at problem 1, I can say 15 is 25%. 15 is 25% of 60 because 60 has to be my total. So 15 is 25% of 60. And then I can say percent. I can again look at the top and say, okay, 50% of 60 is 30. So 50% of 60 is 30. Of is our total. Is our part. It's our part to whole, as we're talking about fractions. Number 3, it says use your double number lines to determine a reasonable estimate for each statement. So 35% of 60. Well, if we know that 25% is 15, then 35% would be somewhere around, if 10% of 60 is 6, because 10 times 6 is 60, then 35% of 60 would be around 18, because 3 times 6 is 18. Same thing with 35% of 80. 10% of 80 is 8. 10 times 8 is 80. So 35% of 80 would equal 3 times 8, which would be about 24. So that's how we kind of think about our percents. So what I'd like you to do now is read through the summary. It's going to explain what a percentage is. And then I want you to work on page 328 on your CAMI assignment as your homework. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you very much.